Well, good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome to the M&S Bank Arena. You are joined ringside by myself, Darren Rees, and I've got a couple of British and Commonwealth champions with me tonight. Good evening to Jack Rafferty and Zach Miller. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good evening to you all. I'm happy to be here. It was a great weigh-in yesterday, and it's got me and Jack revved up for tonight's fights. Yeah, it's going to be a cracking night of boxing.
Yeah, really excited to be here. It's bringing back memories. You know, I was in that red corner, winning the British title. Now I'm here commentary, and yeah, I'm over the moon.
We're looking forward to catching up with both of you. As Thomas Triber just said, it is heavyweight action to kick things off on this stacked card this evening. And Joe Bourne, who weighed in at 278 pounds, fighting in the black shorts with those white boots, and in the opposite corner, Christian Uwaka. Bourne has got 60 pounds on Christian Uwaka, which is quite something. And these guys just feeling each other out. And that tends to be how these opening rounds go, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see Uwaka here. He's trying to stop Bourne from working, you know, he's trying to tie him up. But the bigger man in Bourne, he should just use his size, push him off, and keep him at range where he can let his long levers go.
Yeah, they're having a feel of each other here, aren't they? You know, trying to make it a little bit messy, trying to feel each other's power, and you know, if they keep it a little bit longer as the rounds go on, I think it'll start to unfold.
I said in the ring walk for Joe Bourne that he's been in there and sparred with a lot of the top guys, and Fraser Clark said for a big guy, he's got really fast hands. I mean, we've already seen in the opening round that when he starts putting his shots together, they really do come out relatively quickly. And I guess that's one of the things which Uwaka has got to be careful of.
Yeah, definitely. That was a lovely lead left up then, just fell short with it. But there you go again. He's putting them together nice, and they come fast. They do. He must be an athletic man as well. You know, he's come from the rugby, did you say? So, yeah, he's an athlete.
He has been to the World Championships in Japan for the powerlifting, and also played rugby at a decent level, he honestly said. And I guess some of that stuff that will carry through to the professional boxing. And these two, as we get towards the end of this round, just starting to let their hands go a little bit more.
Yeah, it's heating up.
Letting some leather go here now. I think they're getting a bit of a feel of each other, and I think the next round will definitely tell.
Yeah, I don't think Uwaka's come to roll over. He's come for a go, you know. It's a debut of Bourne, but yeah, it's turned into a good fight.
Both guys trying to finish the opening round nice and strong and show the referee, John Latham, who will be scoring this contest, why they deserve that round. Both of these fighters have come from different backgrounds. As I said, Christian Uwaka played basketball at a high level, and then he only switched to boxing not that long ago. He switched the court to the boxing ring. He said he was looking for a challenge, he was looking for competition, and he wanted it to be fierce. And that's exactly what he'll find in boxing, right?
I'll find that in boxing, all right. I think it's a bit more rough and tumble than the basketball court. You know, you get a foul for anything in there. There's no fouls in that square circle, but yeah, he's got himself a challenge, all right.
I think I would have found myself a better challenge than this, but you know, that's that.
Indeed. Talking about Joe Bourne, Jack, he's come from the powerlifting world, in the rugby world. What do you think he'll be able to carry over, that kind of acceleration and that explosiveness, I guess?
Yeah, you can see that letting his shots go then, you know. He's a big, athletic, strong man. He's letting his shots go fast, and, you know, he's very explosive, and I won't like one of them on the chin.
No, me and you both. And it looks like the tactics here with Uwaka is to just try and tie him up and not allow him to get those hands going, because he's already worked out that those hands come in bunches. He throws punches in bunches, and they come out pretty quick, and he doesn't want to be on the end of one of those, like you guys just said.
Yeah, I think Bourne, when he's mid to long range and he's letting them go, they are dangerous shots, so, you know, he's trying to tie him up on the inside, Uwaka, and have a little work in there.
I think Uwaka trying to tie him up, like you said, and make it a little bit ugly, spoil his game plan. Won't like to be on one of the end of them shots, you know, so I think he's trying to work a little bit inside and spoil his plan.
That was a lovely jab to the body then from Bourne. I think he just needs to keep it at that range, keep the jab up and down, and he'll find the work off that.
Well, Joe Bourne should be ready for this tonight, because he was meant to be on a show in Wolverhampton last week. Couldn't get an opponent for him, but he was ready to fight. And then it was on Wednesday evening that he got the call to say Bomber Brown is out of his fight at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. How do you fancy fighting Christian Uwaka? And he jumped at the chance. A couple of days later, here he is in the centre of the ring making his professional debut. Do you think that would have unsettled him, or do you think he would have just been itching to get it underway?
Yeah, he'd have been itching to get it on the way, and what a card to be having your debut on. Many people have wished to have a debut on a card like this, so I bet he's eager here, and he's not being over eager. He's still sticking to what he needs to do, and just needs to make it a little bit less scruffy, give himself a little bit of range, and I don't see why he couldn't get Uwaka out of there with them big shots.
No, definitely. I think he kept it a little bit longer. I think it'll make his work a little bit easier, but like I said, he's putting it on him, he's spoiling his plan. And there's some big shots getting let go.
When you've got a fighter who's all over you like this, what have you got to try and do to get him off you? You know, other than land those big, horrible, clean shots, which makes them wary. When you've got someone like Uwaka who's leaning in and making life difficult, how does he create that space?
I think you've just got to step the feet out a little bit, use the feints. It makes him not want to come as keen. Use the jab. That was a good shot there from Uwaka. But yeah, I'd say keep the range with the feet, get the distance back, finish after your shots, and get the jab going.
Bit of timing in between. I think he's falling over his front foot. Uwaka, when he's with his backhand. I think if he can, break that space up and he can catch him in between, definitely.
And one of you said at the start in the opening round that, Uwaka hasn't turned up to roll over. He certainly has, and he's really given this a good go this evening. And it's got to be tiring for Bourne, hasn't it? I know that Bourne's the much bigger man, but when you've got someone who's just invading your space and grabbing hold of your arms and stopping you from letting you get your shots off, it's a hard night's work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an hard night's work, and he's not come here to roll over, like I said before. He's having a right go and making a fight of it. Fair play to the lad.
Yeah, he's pushing him back and making him work. That wrestling can be tiring, especially being a big fella, letting some big shots go, missing with a few. As the rounds get on, you get a lot more tired.
Absolutely. We're just observing the body language of the two fighters. Looking over in the Bourne corner, looks pretty relaxed, not necessarily breathing too heavily, and neither is Christian Uwaka, but 2 rounds to go. These guys are heavyweights, they're exerting a lot of energy, and they may not look like they've done loads of work, but the work which they've been doing is tiring work, so it'll be interesting to see how the last couple of rounds unfolds. And I think Uwaka, who is the fighter with the losing record in this contest, probably thinks that he's got a good chance of getting a decision here if he carries on playing his game.
Yeah, I think he'll think he's in the fight, and he'll want to cause an upset here if he can. That puts him back on. Frank might have him back on another Queensberry show. Other promoters might see it. He gets him more work, but he might get him less work if he causes an upset.
Well, let's see how this round, the penultimate round, goes. A big swing of a left hook there from Joe Bourne, and again this round starts in the same way that the previous 2 rounds have, and that is with Christian Uwaka leaning on the chest of Joe Bourne and just trying to make life difficult. And I can already see how the post-fight interview goes with Bourne, is he will mention how frustrating it was to have a fighter like that and not allowing him to look good in his professional debut.
Yeah, he's using a bit of experience in. He's getting up close, not allowing Bourne to work, which obviously is very, very frustrating. He'll want to get him at the end of them shots, but Uwaka's coming in, getting close, working the uppercut up there, tying him up, using all little tricks.
Yeah, he's making it ugly in there for him, and he's getting him frustrated a little bit. He'll be following his game plan. He will, like you said, he want to keep these at the end of the shots. They're up here close, battling, working hard.
Uwaka is 40 years old and always looks in tremendous shape. So 13 years older than Joe Bourne.
I hope I look like that at 40.
Yeah, I tell you what, me and you both, Zach.
I know.
He's ripped to pieces. Always.
Don't look a day older, 25.
Always keeping himself in good shape.
He'll be getting ID'd later anyway after a few.
Oh, why? Mind you, he's only just come to boxing from the basketball. He might not look like that after a couple of fights.
It's a good point, well made.
Good action on the inside there.
Uwaka has got through with some good shots in this round.
Yeah, he's really pushing on.
He sneaks them through, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's sneaky with it. He'll create a tiny little bit of room and he'll throw the uppercut through the middle. And then back to smothering so we don't get hit with anything. It's smart. Bourne just pop the jab from that range there.
Keep it long there. I think he's making it, you know, it'll be a good debut for him. This can take a lot of experience away from it.
Yeah, it's a lot of learning this. A lot of people on the debut, you know.
Great debut.
They come to just get the rounds in. Uwaka's definitely not.
No, he's not come to get turned over here, get a payday, do you know what I mean? He's giving as good as he gets, if not, you know, he's giving him a good night's work, and yeah, it's a great fight.
Uwaka is only 6 fights deep into his professional career, but I've got to say, he's almost old manning him, and I don't mean that by his age, but that's a phrase which we use in boxing, isn't it? When you've got those experienced away corner fighters who know every single trick in the book, and it looks like he's one of those kind of road warriors who's been out there forever, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's like one of the ones who's been about for years, you know. They've been in with hundreds of prospects and whatnot, but no, he's got his tactics down to a T tonight. I think he's not letting Bourne work at range, and he's getting up close and working his own shots.
Well, plenty of action coming up tonight. Liverpool Stephen Clark looks to continue his unbeaten journey in the 160-pound division. And then Brad Strand steps up a level when he faces former European title challenger and the relentless Romanian Baluta for the vacant WBO European Super Bantamweight title. Then it's the Cuban knockout artist Javier Herrera, who's looking to make it 17-0. He's only gone the distance twice. If you haven't seen him before, he is entertainment on tap. Then up for grabs, it's the British, Commonwealth and WBC Silver Super Bantamweight belts. And the two men fighting for those will be Charlie Edwards and Andrew Kane. The co-main event is Jack Turner versus Ryan Farag. And then, of course, it's the big one, Nick Ball versus TJ Dehenny. But we're back to the final round on Joe Bourne's debut here at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. The first fight of the night. It's been an ugly fight so far if you're just joining us. Christian the Cracker Uwaka has played, you could say, the ideal game plan, because he's just tied his man up, made life difficult, made sure he hasn't looked good at many moments, and ensured he hasn't got his work off. And they're starting to see a little bit of frustration here, guys, from Joe Bourne. Yeah,
he's kept it ugly for his opponent, and this is what he's wanted to do. I think he's pulled it off to a T. He don't want to be at the end of these big shots.
That's better work there from Bourne, letting his hands go a little bit longer.
He needs to keep it long there.
And that is just the proof in the pudding that the moment that Uwaka gave Bourne the opportunity to let his hands go, he did let them go, and he got through with a couple of really solid shots there, and they thudded from just a couple of feet away.
Yeah, he lets them go beautiful when he wants to, but just needs to keep it at that range. But what an horrible opponent for your debut in Uwaka. Horrible. Needs to shove him off there, get the distance back. Pop the jab from that range there now, get ready. Boom, lovely jab.
He was some feints, you know, by him. Getting by him some feints and letting some shots go.
Oh, gum shield's out here.
The gum shield has come out of the mouth of Joe Bourne, and referee John Latham will just stop the action for a moment and allow the corner to wash it out, and the action will continue. I bet you guys have fought some pretty difficult people in your time.
Yeah, very frustrating, you know, even at the start of your career when you might have had to fight someone last minute. It's a last minute opponent, you've not prepared for him. Yeah, and you can get an ugly fight, but at the end of the day, all that matters is getting that win.
Yeah, they're career building, aren't they? You know, they're making it for the, you know, when you come to these massive fights, you've been there, you've done that, you've got it in your locker. You know, I've had ugly opponents, I've had strong opponents, I've had fast opponents. It's just all making experience, and this is experience for them both tonight, definitely.
There's always learning to do for fighters. That is one thing for certain. And although this has been a frustrating fight, I'm sure it's been a good education as well. And that was a good left hook there from Joe Bourne, and then let a right hand go as well. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Uwaka will try and get in there and keep hold of him, because he could be in trouble here, and I think Bourne knows that.
I think you're trying to see this out, you know, last 20 seconds.
Yeah, you can see the finish line now. He'll do anything he can to get there. That's better from Bourne. Should have just stepped back after that instead of coming into him.
A good end to the round there for Joe Bourne, who catches his man over and over again. And Uwaka carrying on with the theme of this fight, which is just to grab hold of him and a big, horrible left hook to end the round there as we go into the last 10 seconds.
That will sound nice for Uwaka.
And these are solid shots from Joe Bourne.
Big finish to the fight, big finish.
Cracking fight, cracking experience for them both.
Well, towards the end of the moment that bell went, it looked like Christian Uwaka, his legs were a little bit wobbly there. If he had another couple of rounds, he might have got him out of there.
Yeah, an extra 30 seconds, you know, a couple of clean shots landed there. Soon as, like we said, we kept his range and he started landing the bigger shots, but yeah, it was a cracking fight to start the night of boxing off.
Good, a good heavyweight slugfest to get things up and away. So much boxing to look forward to this evening.
Can't beat a couple of heavyweights slugging it out in the last round.
Lovely 10-ounce lever getting thrown there, lovely. Won't like one of them off either of them.
And there's something about heavyweight boxing, you just can't not watch it. But anyway, let's hear how John Latham has scored this contest. Thomas Schreiber is posed and ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, John Latham, scores this bout 38-38. This bout is a draw.